Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. What's up? It's been a while, huh? It's been a while, but we're finally here with a new. Don't know where my mouse went there. With a new KoishCasts, and I've got a little game for you here today. So, let's see what we've got. Also, I've realised that in a new patch, it kind of doesn't like to put the voice chat away, so we're going to be getting the chat over here, I'm afraid, in this game. But it's a new patch. I haven't done a cast for any games since before preseason. So what you need to know is if you don't play the game, and if for some reason you're only watching my cast, which you're not, but if you are, it's basically there are now items called mythic items, powerful items that give effects based upon how many legendary items, so that's the tier below, items you have. You can only have one mythic item in the game, and they all have different effects that can give you extra cooldown reduction, which is now called ability haste, or give you more armor penetration, or things like that, basically. And we'll go over that once that gets built. But let's go over the matchups right now. Nothing's gone too crazy in the early game. In the top lane, we have a Volibear versus a Riven. In the jungle, a Master Yi versus a Lilia. The Master Yi with Ignite, by the way, instead of Flash. In the middle lane, a Yasuo versus a Zed. And in the bot lane, a Jhin Lulu versus a Kai'Sa Annie. Should make for an interesting little game right here. This chat on the left is really annoying, but I'm sorry, there's no way to get rid of it. It just will keep showing up every time there's a ping. I hope that's fixed at some point, but we're just going to have to live with it for now. So let's talk about the matchups real quick. Pre-6, I'm pretty strong of the opinion that Yasuo has a much better lane than the Zed. Kai'Sa looks like she's potentially not quite all here. Very rude from the blue team, but I guess when you're playing ranked, you just take whatever. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, this looks like it's going to be a win for the Yasuo. It is, but Yasuo may drop as well. He does drop as well to his last little minion autos, along with the Ignite tick. So like I'm saying, I think Yasuo has the stronger early game into the Zed. Because he has a lot more lane pressure, he has a lot more mobility, he has a lot more potential to get what he wants to do done. Pre-6. After 6, Zed has a much more powerful ultimate because it doesn't rely on anyone being knocked up or any kind of circumstances. You just use it, and you can stack up a lot of damage very quickly with the Death Mark. Kai'Sa, by the way, hasn't returned to the game yet. It's just Annie solo laning in our bot lane. That's pretty unfortunate for the red team, but they're just going to have to live with that. Yeah, so he still hasn't hit level 3 here. Should do off the next minion or so. There you go, 2 minions. Meanwhile in the top lane, Volibear Riven. Riven is a champion that likes to go for pretty short trades. A really important thing to note with Riven is with the new changes, cooldown reduction or ability haste is no longer capped at 40%. Oh, but here we go, Lilia's here. Now we've got a brawl. Volibear's going to have to try and run away, but he's not going to be able to get anywhere, but Lilia picks it up. And that's a nice, clean play from the red team to capitalize on some over-aggression. Meanwhile, Lilia, now she's engaging on Yi. Yi comes in on the Alpha Strike, but he can't do any more, not against Riven as well. Here they come, there's a bit of damage coming in. Teleport coming in from Volibear. The meditation coming through, that's a damage reduction. He's going to be able to survive. Volibear running at them. He's using his stun, manages to get onto Riven. Riven should be able to get away here. And in the end, no blood spilled to the side of... Oh, Yi wants to keep going, no? He puts down the Ignite onto the Lilia, but that shouldn't kill her. It should get close. They do know that Yi's walking around the back to try and secure that kill. Meanwhile, mid, Yasuo just getting a bit of trade on. They're just trying to delay Lilia as long as possible here. Yi doesn't have his flash. The Alpha Strike, oh, the flash in from the Volibear picks that one up. Volibear does drop down, Yi does drop down to the tower. That does go over to Lilia. Makes it a 1-for-1 in the end. Meanwhile, in mid lane, Zed has to play much more carefully. You see what I'm talking about? Yasuo flashes forward, mechs it up. A really good shadow. But it doesn't matter, the minion wave arrives, Yasuo is able to use his dash through that. Some nice action actually in this early game. The top lane play was pretty busted all around, not that great, but the mid lane play seems pretty competitive actually. That was really nice play from Zed, it was just unfortunate that the other minions happened to be there. Meanwhile, Lilia reckons she can get some trades onto the Yasuo. Oh, this should be a dead Yasuo now, it is indeed. Lilia manages to pick that one up. And Lilia now 3-1. This is a champion I actually haven't cast. Because most of my recordings were... Actually, maybe I have cast this champion. Regardless, it's a champion that's really, really good. Once she gets a lead going, she can be really annoying and do a lot of damage. And because she moves so fast, it can be really difficult to pin her down. Kai'Sa has returned now. She's already level 3, so she has managed to at least get a bit of XP back. But obviously with a massive CS discrepancy. I was saying earlier, but something that's really big for Riven, with the new items and the new changes to the game, is that Zed is bot, actually. This could be dangerous, very dangerous for the blue team. So is Lilia. Lilia's here too. Late Flash comes out comes the Sleep. Jin should be beyond dead. He is. They're going to try and get Lulu as well, but there's not really anything more to get for the blue team. They might as well try and back all the way off here. Meanwhile, the red team sticks around. Yasuo just continuing to hard push. Meanwhile, there's a normal trade in the top. Nothing too crazy. Riven manages to get a 6 before Volibear. She could pressure on that. Probably wants to. Volibear, this might not be the trade you want to take. Out comes Riven's ult, but Volibear, he has so much sustain, so much damage. Oh, here comes the heal, but Riven tries for it. She does manage to get it just. If Volibear had just waited, if he'd just been careful and slow, he would have been able to get 6 and probably have a more favourable trade there. But Riven, the Conqueror, stacking up nicely, just gives her a little amount of heal she needs to win that trade. So, mid lane's played out pretty similarly to how I thought it would. That's a really strange play from Zed. He hasn't got 6. He can't make a play on that. He's forced to take a lot of harass from the Yasuo there. Obviously, Yasuo wasn't going to kill him there, but it's a lot of pressure that Zed didn't need to give. Yeah, he may be knocked up. Maybe the ult would have come out. But I feel like either way, he takes about the same amount of damage. Yi, for now, is just going to want to hard farm as much as he can. Like, Yi's always able to capitalize on someone who's really out of position, but right now he doesn't care that much about it. We haven't talked about bot lane very much. Annie's support isn't very conventional. Annie has had some buffs, some tweaks. She is faster now, and she was used to be a very meta support back in the day. But she's fallen down more to the... Lulu as well got nerfed a bit. I haven't seen many Lulus, to be fair. But Jin is probably the best. My friend Lenz can tell you this. But for his money, the best. Oh, but the trade into bot lane. Annie gets her stun. Yeah, that's all that you need. I was talking about how Annie isn't very conventional, but of course she still has a lot of plays which she can make. I must be doing a job here. I think that the red team should still be able to get this. There's no stun yet for the Annie. Has it now? The flash stun. In it comes, but Yi. He's going to come up and pick up all of this. Suddenly, it doesn't look so favourable for the red team at all. Because if you're giving kills over to a Master Yi, that's when troubles can start to emerge. So yes, Lulu manages to get herself 2 kills in that bot lane on the Jin and the Lulu, but Yi mops up all the mess that the red team left behind. Pretty good by the Yi to notice that and to make a logical play upon that. I actually don't know what the elo of this game is. I think it's about... Oh, that's a good ult from the Volibear to get away there. Should be completely fine. Yeah, well played by him. That ultimate was really well placed because otherwise he could have been knocked up. He could have been in a good bit of trouble, and it was really intelligent of him to use it there to avoid any CC and to just get his ass out of there. Very nicely done. Especially because he didn't have flash at the time. This Volibear has had quite a bit of attention from this Lydia so far. The Volibear actually has traded pretty nicely onto the Riven. But it hasn't been perfect. I was trying to say it earlier for Riven, but a good thing about the item changes for her is that cooldown reduction can now go past 40%, and Riven really benefits from having her cooldowns, her abilities off cooldown, as often as possible. Just a nice bit of whacking backwards and forwards there between the two of them. I can't actually tell you how powerful Riven is in this current patch. Although I've seen her a couple of times. I tried to make another game that I recorded previously, but this is a new microphone and the sound quality was all over the place. Because I can't even remember what I was using. I was just fiddling with settings and it didn't work out very nicely, so I'm not going to upload that one. Plus, it's a pretty dull game. This one's much better in terms of quality-wise. Really nice little trade going on here. Riven probably could trade it, but she doesn't want to take the second Volibear W. That will heal him. Pretty intelligent from her not to try and force that. Oh, she's going to try it. Oh, Volibear just runs at her, then is just walking away. Gets a double W, gets some heals in. The Yi is up here, but Riven has used her W, so this should be difficult. Alpha Strike comes out, but Riven comes out with a stun. Does manage to stun on the tower. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, the volley bear is executed in the top lane, whilst Jin drops in the bottom at the same time. Oh my god, Yi's just disconnected. So, very inopportune DC there from the Yi. So I was talking about how Annie isn't very conventional as a support, which is true. But obviously, the strength that Annie used to have as a support, and that she still has, is that she has a very powerful, very high damaging ultimate that is able to be used as an AoE stun. And like we were talking about earlier, when we were talking about mid lane, Yasuo had the advantage in the early games. Zed now has a bit more pressure, and now that he's got 6. Yasuo, of course, still has some lane pressure, but Zed is able to actually do things here. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Volibear really wants to go. He's really upset that he got executed earlier, but there's nothing left for him to do, so he flash ulted forwards, but it was pretty inopportune. Meanwhile, in the middle, Yi, trading onto Lilia, does get a favourable trade, but if neither mid lane is going to help too much. Really nice tornado comes out. Oh no, very unlucky for Yasuo, both of them. Get away on now, help at Jin from downtown, gets 1, gets 2, beautiful curtain call from the Jin, manages to mop up that situation. Really nicely done actually, especially because it may have looked like that Zed there was outside of Jin's ult, but the ultimate bullets from the curtain call actually go a little bit further than the indicator shows. And a fed Jin is a problem. Oh, that's another a lot of disconnects in this game. Of course, the blue team don't know that Kai'Sa's disconnected, so they're gonna have to play a bit wary. For my money, I think this Ribbon has done better than the Volibear, but Volibear, generally speaking, is just a much easier and much more abusable champion to be able to play. Oh, this Jin. He's on, he's already upset, but he doesn't have an ult there to just blast at the Annie. But he's playing very nicely, and I fed Jin, like I'm saying, and for my money, Jin might be the best ADC in the game right now. Oh, but Lulu, she's over pushed trying to get this Annie. She might be in some major trouble here, should be. But Lilia comes over with her. Jin not moving to help yet, doesn't manage to do anything. Lulu's feeling not entirely happy about it. But Lilia gets another kill, now 5 and 2, has a mythic item for Liandry's Torment. Volibear still trying to trade favourably onto this Riven. Really wants to fight her, but Riven also knows that that's exactly what she doesn't want to do. Jin has got to play safe down here. He hasn't got his support, he hasn't got anyone to look after him. Yeah, this Volibear really wants to go for it. But this Riven's just saying, having none of it. Every time Volibear comes forward, she moves backwards. Meanwhile in mid lane. Oh, bot lane, Yi coming in, but this should be difficult for him. Top lane with a trade. Mid lane there's also a trade. We're not seeing it, but Lilia is on Yasuo there. Meanwhile, Yi, he should drop down here. The meditate coming out. 4th shot. The grenade manages to kill off the Annie. Meanwhile, in mid lane, Yi almost goes down. Now goes down the Kai'Sa. Down to the Yi that time. Yi managed to survive thanks to the meditate. In top lane, he disables the turret. Riven uses her ultimate. She's trying to get away as much as possible, but she needs some movement. She's waiting for a stun to come up so then she can then use her abilities. Manages to get them. She's trying to get away as much as possible. Is going to manage to get away. Volibear, if he tries for it, is probably going to die. But Lilia's up here to catch him on his way out. But she just managed to get Yasuo in the mid lane. There's too much damage really coming out. Too much movement. Oh, but the Volibear might be able to get Riven here. No, Riven manages to get away on a minuscule amount of health. Lilia doing a lot of work for her team right now. Just moving between lanes, getting it done. A lot of things happen on the map there at the exact same time. There was a trade between Volibear and Riven that the camera was definitely very interested in the bot lane. You had both Annie and Kai'Sa go down. Annie went down to a flash, to a grenade from Jin. The Annie went down to Yi in the end, who looked like originally, but he might be in a bit of a sticky situation. The Yasuo also went down to the Lilia. I don't think Zed got out of there alive, but I can't tell you off the top of my head. And now we've got the supports roaming a bit. Well, I say the supports. Lulu's sticking bot with Jin, whilst Annie is moving between lanes right now, which is interesting when you consider that Kai'Sa's the one who's been left without any help. Like, she kind of needs it more. Meanwhile, in mid lane. Apologies for that, a little bit. Yeah, now bot lane's moving. They've moved around Dragon, but Dragon still isn't up for another 2 minutes. Oh, we've got a trade over top lane again. This Volibear seems to keep wanting to trade, but I don't think he does. After he uses that second W, he wants to move backwards, be happy with the trade he got, and then think about the rest of his life. So it is going to be a Mountain Soul this game, which is, I think, on the overall better for the blue team, but obviously not bad for the red team to get. Both of them have a Dragon apiece right now, so it might be interesting to see which one we end up with this game. There's a lot of pressure on this mid lane from the red team. The blue team can't really hold. If Jhin gets stunned by the Annie, he's in big trouble. It looks like Annie isn't going to step up too much to threaten. Riven going in for the quick trades, but Volibear says, I'll have some of that. Decides he's going to go a bit harder, but Riven, she's got a level 2 ultimate. Volibear does not, he's only level 10. Meanwhile, mid lane, the pressure is dissipated. The red team has moved towards the bot side here. Kai'Sa especially just wanting to pick up the farm. The Yasuo pushing in the wave consistently to give a bit of trouble over to the blue team. Meanwhile, Riven, she does have her ultimate. Volibear should have his in a minute. Doesn't. He's still got a bit of a way to go. He's actually farmed worse than the Lilia, which is really interesting. Oh, how does Riven know that? Did she know? Oh, this is trouble. Volibear should be dead here. Is dead here. The Yi drops again. Lulu's up here, but it's just Lulu. Needs to leave. Yi comes back in as well. Yeah, that was just silly. Volibear should have just walked all the way backwards and back there. Yi, I think, is also just accidentally spawned Herald. Yeah, that's pretty ambitious from the Yi. Interesting little double view there from the Riven, but it doesn't matter. There's nothing more that the blue team can do about that one. The red team is getting a lot of pressure on the map. The gold's actually pretty even, or was until that turret dropped. Oh, Zed likes his chances. The Gale Force comes out. Really nicely played from Jhin. The last shot takes down the Zed. You don't get to see that all the time. Meanwhile, in top lane, Riven does drop down to the Yi eventually. Looks like after playing really intelligently to go backwards, she decides to just int it. Very nice to see. And her turret does drop down. Volibear can be happy about that one. Volibear's transferred into mid for a while. He's letting it go to support Annie. Of course, I call it support, but if you just look at her items, you can see she's building anything. But really nicely played. Gale Force is one of the new mythic items. I can't remember what stat it actually gives. I wonder if we hover over it, it'll tell me. Yeah, so it gives movement speed, which is decent on Jhin. Definitely decent. And the active, where you have a little dash and you fire off some shots, is really useful for proccing his W, the captive audience. So he's built very intelligently there. I'm not sure how meta the collector is on him, but it adds crit chance, it adds damage, and it adds an execute for below 5% health. So it's not exactly bad on him. It's just I'm not entirely sure how meta it is. He's also gone Swifty Boots when I feel like he could have gone Mercury Treads. He's going to be basically stunned up or slept up by this Lilia and Annie a lot. Volibear just teleported top for no reason, by the way. Oh no, I say no reason. He wanted to defend the tower because you've got to remember all top laners are addicted to saving their towers. Why are we looking bot? I want to see what's going on with... Oh, it's because Annie's just been obliterated. Meanwhile, bot Yasuo, he's stuck in a 2v1. This Lilia has been addicted with him all the time. Oh, so interesting thing to note. Just after this kill goes down, a double kill for the blue team in the mid lane. Both of the bot laners go down. Kai'Sa and Annie both dead. Meanwhile, Zed, he's going to try his best. He's going to see what he can do. Really nice dodge out there from the Jhin. The captive audience goes wide, and they're not going to be able to do anything more on that one. So an interesting interaction, something for people who play Yasuo to note, is that your Wind Wall, if you use it correctly, can block the sleep coming out from Lilia. So his Wind Wall there, obviously, didn't seem to do very much because it was used after every ability had come through. But it does, the Lilia R, the proc of it, when it flies to you and then sleeps you, does count as a projectile. Very cheeky steal there from the Jhin. Does count as a projectile. So you can conceivably Wind Wall be oncoming sleep, which is crazy and also very useful for Yasuo players. But it's understandable if he doesn't know that. The Kai'Sa's got Kraken's Fire. That's going to give her extra attack speed and extra damage on every third auto. It's very meta from Katarina right now because they changed how her ultimate works. Meanwhile, bot lane, Driven feels like she can take this. Probably can. Yasuo. He wants... Oh, the wind wall goes... the tornado goes pretty wide. If he's going to get away, he needs to start dashing through some minions. He does manage to skip the dash. He does have his wind wall, which he could use, but he doesn't want to, apparently. He's using his dashes, trying to buy some time. As much time as possible. But Lily's joined me while in mid lane. Jin might finally die to Zed. Oh, but the Lulu can't get close enough. Meanwhile in bot lane, he's still trying to do what he can, but he can't do anything more than that. Meanwhile in top lane, Kai'Sa, she's dead to the Yi, who has got the Dustblade. That gives him extra crit. That makes him invisible. The red team tried to surrender. That's one thing we do get from the chat, 1 to 4. The Zed, by the way, for the last couple of moments, has just been trying his absolute hardest to kill Jin on basically every opportunity. And that, as Jin himself noted there, actually he noted that Zed had used Flash, Zed did not use Flash in that engage. Zed used his ultimate, Zed did use his Ignite. The reason he keeps going on to Jin and no one else is because Jin is an important target, and also because Jin seems to be the only person he can actually kill right now. At least when left to his own devices. This Riven is now 5-1. She's now looking pretty meaty. She's strong. She's gone for the Gore Drinker. The Gore Drinker active heals based on how many champions you hit with that right there, that little round thing. How many champions she hits, that will heal her for that. It's like a Darius Q in that respect. There we go. The blue team wants to try and make a play onto her. Here comes Yi. Here comes Yasuo. Out comes the blade. But Annie's there trying to recover. The wind wall blocks a bit. Oh, that's a lot of damage from the Riven ulti, but here comes the curtain call. 1, 2. It's not going to hit anyone for here. Does hit the Riven and the Kai'Sa once each, but that's not nearly enough right there. Yeah, and the blue team have to start considering that this Riven is strong right now. Yi is powerful. He does have some key items. He does have a lot of kills. The Yasuo is seemingly pretty good at Yasuo. Oh, here we go. This could be a good play though. But Zed though, addicted with going on people who aren't Volibear basically. Jin is strong here. But Jin, he's put to sleep here. He needs Lulu to look after him. Lulu is on him. Polymorph onto the Lilia, but Jin, he's dead there. Now Lilia going to go onto the Lulu, can't do anything. The Kai'Sa picks it up onto the backside. The Volibear's still going, but he just abandoned the rest of his team. He's going to drop down, and that's all they wrote for that one. A massive swing there for the red team. Every single member of the blue team did drop. The red team got the dragon. They're now on Mountain Soul Point. And the game is looking pretty dire for the blue team right now. Not in terms of gold. In gold terms, you're only 3,000 behind. It's not so bad. It's very good that the Yi smited that. Otherwise, he might have had a problem. Yeah, this Volibear hasn't had a great time. He doesn't really seem to look at anything past just running at people. He could have helped to try and peel off the Lilia there with the Jin and Lulu, but didn't really give him any attention, was too busy running at the enemy team. I guess that might have helped in itself. The Riven's going a pretty tanky build. I was talking about cooldown reduction and all that, but she's actually gone second item Thorn Mail. It's not a bad idea, but there is a lot of AD threats. In fact, the entire of the blue team is AD, something I failed to mention. Meanwhile, Zed, yep, he's just going to keep on going for Jin when he's by himself because it's simple, it's easy. And at this point, it's not about Zed being rude, it's about Jin not realizing what's going on. Good play by the Yasuo, easy kill onto the Zed there with no ultimate. And no ignite again. Zed pinging the Yasuo ignite and flash, despite the fact the Yasuo only flashed. It's very interesting that people seem to just ping everything about someone when they die to them. Meanwhile, the red team's starting up the Baron, but they're going to move off it. They don't have enough damage yet, but they might start it up again in a second. They just want to make sure that they're all safe around here. Meanwhile, Riven just banging away at this bottom turret. Lulu's here to look after it, but Lulu's not going to be enough. Top lane, Yasuo, he's been caught out. He's going to be taken down here. I'm pretty sure of it. There are 3 people to deal with him. He can't survive forever. He's going to try and get the Annie. Almost does so. Pretty well played. Meanwhile, the Yi focusing on the Riven down here. But this is pretty prime opportunity, yep, for the red team to go for Baron. And they are going to do it. The Yi desperately trying to kill the Riven. It's just not going to happen. He gives her a laugh, but while he's doing that, the Baron is dropping down to the red team here. They do have Tibbers there to tank up a little bit, and no one is really in the area for the blue team. This is going to be a free Baron. This is going to be a big swing. That is the right call, the right play to make it happen, and impressive calls there. This Lilia is strong, this Lilia is tanky, and there's consolidation, but Yi takes the blue buff. As if he really, really needed that. Jhin right now. Still thinking he can do something against this Zed. Well, it looked like he was solo there for a second. He can when Zed gets caught out like that. Meanwhile, up here, well played by the Volibear. Actually, he's trying to survive as long as possible, but it's not going to last forever. Meanwhile, Yi here to take care of it. Manages to take care of the Kai'Sa. Now, we have the Lilia caught out. Very well played by her to dodge all of that, but it's not going to do much forever. She's going to drop down here. Who to? It's to Yasuo, and suddenly that Baron that they were so happy to have is thrown away from everyone but the Riven. I'm always so curious about why, when one team manages to get the Baron, or like a sizable lead, they have this compulsion to instantly throw it away. It's bonkers to me. Alright, so, as the game stands right now, the red team does have about a 2,500 gold lead. It's not a crazy amount, but it is a lead. Riven exploiting the Baron buff, or what she has left of it, for her team to try and pressure this bot tower. Might well drop down. So the Zed can definitely kill this Jhin, but the Jhin has to be alone. The Lulu on that occasion was nearby. Meanwhile, this is big for Jhin. He drops down instantly. A nice flash stun. A nice flash play from the Riven. Meanwhile, top lane. It's Zed versus Yasuo. The Zed doesn't like his chances, has to back away. His Q, his Shuriken does go into the wind wall. Meanwhile, bot lane, Riven, she might be overpushed a little bit now. Volibear wants a bit, comes in for the stun, then runs away as quickly as possible. That's about as much as I expected, to be perfectly honest with you. Mid lane, Yi, just trying to get the solo push on. I feel like if you time that... Oh my god, a well-timed Alpha Strike does actually block out the ult from the Lilia, but yeah, the Yi can last forever there. He drops down to the Annie. Meanwhile, bot lane, Lulu needs to look after herself here. She could be in some trouble. Riven trying to get what she can done. She's healing up. She's actually not that low yet. There is a 4-level lead between her and Volibear, which isn't going to work out very nicely. Volibear trying to do what he can. It's just very slow, really. The Lulu's got to be very attentive to this Riven. A nice little catapult from the Jhin, but it's not going to be enough. The Lulu almost drops down. Ult on the spot from the Volibear. Riven is still going. Here comes Kai'Sa to save the day. Riven finally drops down, but now Jhin is a one-man army. He can't do it. Lilia coming forward, flashes up with the Q. He goes down, she goes down, Lulu gets out on a sliver of health. Meanwhile, top lane, it's Zed versus Yasuo again. Nice hold of the tornado, nicely done from Yasuo. Yasuo trying to get everything on here, should have it if... Oh, a nice little wind wall as well. But Yasuo is clearly a good player, but he's just had a very unfortunate game. The Lilia gave him a lot of attention, his side laning could be more intelligent. He hasn't managed to completely exploit the strength of what he might be able to do this game, but the longer this game goes on, the better he becomes. He hasn't actually got his Infinity Edge yet, but he is building it now. Meanwhile, in bot lane, Yi instantly blown up by the Annie there. The moment he goes on her, really should have seen that one coming. Meanwhile, Yasuo thinks he can try and get something done, but he's just taking a lot of damage there. The Kai'Sa, despite her earlier disconnects, doing a lot of damage in a very short amount of time, along with, of course, the Annie with her Luden's Echo build. It means the Annie is very squishy, but with the Mountain Soul secured, and with just how mobile she can be and how safe she is in these fights, it really doesn't matter how squishy she can be. Plus, the blue team always has to be wary of a Tibbers stun ultimate. It's a massive AoE stun if it hits. But for now, The game continues. This Ribbon really is, in my eyes, outside. Okay, so in my eyes, the threats go like this: Lilia, Ribbon, Annie in that order, and then Zed, Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa's still important, and Zed is as well. But this Ribbon is big right now. But this Lilia is even bigger. She's able to run around, just do whatever she wants in this jungle to the blue team, basically without any kind of punishment. This Yasuo is way too far forward. She could be in some trouble here. He managed to get his tornado, don't ult on that. Thank you. The Captive Audience does hit onto the Ribbon, but it's all just tickling her really. She's got a lot more time. The wave's coming in. It'd be better if they had Baron right now because they threw it away earlier. They could have done this earlier, but at least they get it done eventually. It was just a little slower than I would have liked. There's Volibear as well. He's only level 14. That's awful. Oh my god, I didn't even see. But Lulu's caught out. She instantly drops down. Now the Ribbon running forward. She's trying to get onto the Jhin. It's a good tornado from the Yasuo. Manages to knock out the Ribbon and Zed. Zed takes the tower shots. Now it's the Annie comes forward. Gets instantly blown up. Now it's the Kai'Sa. She goes down. It's the Yi. It's the Jhin. It's the Yasuo. But out comes the Lily asleep. That's enough to finish off. Oh! But the Lilia comes through. I didn't even get to finish off my sentence. She comes up huge, and her ultimate, the burn from the Leandries, actually finished off, I think, both the Yasuo and the Yi. And then you have the Jhin trying his hardest to try and do something there. It might have actually been more beneficial for him to not go forwards, but he did manage to at least get a Zed. But this Lilia, like I was saying before, she is absolutely massive right now. She is a monster on this Rift. She's now 14 and 3. She has an almost full build already. We're only 31 minutes in. The only thing she has left to do is upgrade her Dark Seal to a Medjay, and she has completed her build. And this Volibear can't stand up to her. The Volibear has basically no MR outside of the Mercury Treads. He's under-leveled. He's not even level 15 yet, I don't think. Oh, no, he is. But he's not even level 16 yet. Ribbon, I think, is about to reach level 18. And you really got to wonder what the blue team is going to be able to do in this game against this many threats. If you can keep Jhin alive, if you can keep him in a good place, then he might be able to do something. And the Yi is doing a lot of damage, but it's all AD. So all the red team had to do is build armor. Meanwhile, the Yi, it's a good... Oh, was that QSS? No. It was actually, but... they've gone far too deep to try and secure this. It's a free Baron for the red team here. There's no jungler for the blue team. It's all just gone away. The blue team, are they going to try and at least contest for it? Volibear's not in the area. The bot lane is. I don't think it's going to be enough though. The curtain call comes out. Probably not going to be able to do anything here. That's right. The red team correctly stand in the way. A little bit of damage comes out, but it's not going to be enough. Ribbon, she's on the run now. But Jhin is in a completely incorrect position. He can't do anything here. He needs to think about his life choices because this was just a really bad one. He drops down to the Kai'Sa, and I think the red team is just going to run it into the base now. Really well played from them overall. This Lilia was crazy, but even if you take out the Lilia, you've still got a strong Ribbon. You've still got a scaling Kai'Sa. You've still got the AoE stun with a lot of damage. The Volibear tries to do something. It's not going to do anything, unfortunately. They're just far too far behind. Yi's going to come out. Does manage to get Annie, but I think that's all he's going to be able to do. He's going to try for Kai'Sa, doesn't manage to get her. The Ribbon is just far too far ahead. She's going to run forward. She's going to try for the Lulu. The Yasuo comes forward. He's not going to be able to do anything there. Tries to get the tornado onto the Kai'Sa, gets exhausted. Although he exhausted the Ribbon, not going to do anything. The Lulu drops down, and that is all she wrote for this one. Really clean game for the red team overall. Couple of hiccups here and there, loads of DCs, but that is a overall pretty clean win. Well, I think that was a pretty good quality game overall. I think the blue team suffered from having an all AD comp. I didn't mention that very often, which was pretty bad of me. But it was all AD, so if the red team were going to build armor, which Ribbon did build that full nail, then it wasn't exactly a difficult choice on what to build. Everyone went ninja tabbies outside of the bot lane. This Lilia got extremely far ahead. She did have a full build by the end of this game, but she was really, really far ahead in this game. And she did a lot of damage. It was really good of her to continue to move between the lanes. You saw how there was that play on mid when Yasuo almost got SZ a couple of times. That Yasuo, I think, was clearly the better mid laner, at least in the matchup-wise. Managed to come in, save Zed from death, get him out on a sliver of health, and then would instantly run top to pick up on the Volibear. The Volibear did have this Riven's number in the early game, mainly because Volibear is just a really punishing champion, could really trade very nicely onto other champs. And Riven knew that the best thing she could do was just to try and like duck and weave, just go quickly in, quickly out, not to let Volibear get all of his things off at the same time. But really nice of Lilia to always to show up and to secure, to help her secure that. The Kai'Sa, her stats don't look that good, but she was DC'd for a good portion of the beginning of the game. The Yi as well kept bumping in and out. I don't know if that was something with the league servers or just too crappy computers, but either way, I think the Kai'Sa performed pretty well, to be honest with you. Like, that build at 33 minutes isn't something to really be upset about, especially considering you were DC'd for a portion of the game. The Zed I mentioned, I felt like he was outclassed in the mid lane matchup, and his only real use was trying to eliminate Jhin as quickly as possible. And that's basically all he ever did this game. I'm not really sure how strong Zed is in the current meta. I'm kind of half and half on it. I'm not sure if he's strong, I'm not sure if he's weak. It'd be something I need to test out and watch a bit more of. The early support I think showed up huge in this game. Not massive, but big. I guess huge means massive. Should think about that one. But she was really good with her stun ultimates, managed to get multiple members, especially with the Yi, who would jump in and just get instantly stunned up, not be able to do anything. The Volibear, poor man, like I said, he had Riven's number early, but he was 1 in 10, which isn't a good look. His build really wasn't going to get him anywhere. This Lilia just went right through him like knife through butter. Yeah, I think maybe if he had been an AP tank, something like I guess Maokai isn't very popular. I don't know, some kind of AP threat might have been helpful. And then if you put Lulu on Brom or a Nautilus or a Leona, maybe that would have been more useful for the blue team, because then you have more of a solid CC coming in for the, because that was a big problem with the blue team, is they have no hard CC. So unless Lily is just running around them, there's nothing they can do about it other than polymorph or the Volibear stun. There's nothing. Yasuo, like I said, I think he played pretty well. Just some overextensions here and there, but overall mechanically he seemed pretty good. But Jhin had a good time, but then just started getting jumped on solo by the Zed. He should have really thought about that, and the Lily just kind of carved right through him. But Lulu played fine, but needed to be kind of... She knew her job was to stick with Jhin, but she was never really quite close enough, which was the problem. But overall, a pretty good game. Good objective focus, good mechanics a lot of the time. My cast may have been a bit rusty, I'm sorry, I haven't really done a proper one of these for a little while. And there was a lot of action in this game, especially happening at the same time. I basically missed that Dragon Soul was even taken this game, which is just bad. But I am working to improve, and with any hope, I'll only get better and better. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.